Hi and welcome back to my channel Terra Ray. My name is Chelsea, and in the spirit of moving back to our natural form as a human, moving back to nature and how our body is naturally meant to be, I would like to talk about barefoot shoes. I recently got Vivobarefoot shoes and I've been loving them. I used to own some in the past, so I'd like to do an updated review and specifically compare it to my water shoes that I got a couple of years ago. I did a video about that as well, so if you're interested, check up here. If you've already seen it, then carry on watching here. First things first, let's focus on their appearance. First of all, we can admit that the water shoes, they're ugly, right? You can wear them out and about and it's absolutely fine, but they are ugly and you don't necessarily want to go in public with them. Kind of get some looks. People will comment on them and, well, they're just really ugly, aren't they? In comparison to that, these shoes look a lot nicer, which I'm happy about. They look more casual, they just look like trainers. However, there is a downside with these shoes. Because they have a wide toe box, they can look a bit like duck feet or flippers. So I've just kind of run with the joke. I love mermaids. I recently got one tattooed on my side. I'm calling myself a mermaid now, so you know, whatever. Because I have quite big feet, wearing wide toe shoes can accentuate that a little bit, which isn't ideal, to be honest. When we're talking about foot health and wanting to improve our natural body, I'd much prefer to have duck looking feet over some shoes that are a bit too small and that are crowding my toes. So overall, I'm actually really happy with the appearance of this and design. Of course, it would be better if it didn't look like duck feet, but that's more because I have big feet than Vivobarefoot brand itself. Let's go on to speak about what the shoes are made from. So these shoes are made out of recycled plastic, which I love. They're made with a mesh material, which is really good for me because what I wanted to do was wear these shoes without socks. Apparently socks are not good to wear if you're trying to train your feet. What socks do is they constrict the movement in your feet, and this is partly to the reason why I specifically chose these shoes, is because I'd be able to wear them without socks and have that breathability aspect, which means sweat will not build up in my shoes. Vivobarefoot shoes, if you get them wet, although they're made out of mesh material, I find the inside doesn't dry as quickly as the water shoes. And I guess that's because water shoes are specifically made for water sports and going to the beach and stuff like that. So they are designed to dry quicker. They're more made out of fabric and material, where these are made of plastic and like rubbery textured stuff. I don't actually know specifically. If you want something that really dries quickly or to have something specifically for water sports, then go for the water shoes. So next, what we're going to do is speak about how they feel to wear, and I love them. I absolutely love these. So obviously the reason why I got these is because they're supposed to mimic that barefoot feeling as much as you possibly can while wearing shoes. I love to feel the rocks underneath my feet. I love the ability to feel the grass and the pavement and all the different textures of life. It makes me feel more connected to my body and more connected to my environment. But if I specifically compare the two, there's quite a few differences, and of course the quality is going to be a lot better in these because the price is way more expensive. With these shoes, Vivobarefoot shoes, they are on the pricier side. They cost around £100-ish, and the water shoes cost £10. So there's a huge difference there, but there are pros and cons to both of them. So one of the pros to wearing Vivobarefoot shoes compared to the water shoes is there's more of a rigid structure in the way that the shoe is made up. With the water shoes, the material is very stretchy and flexible, and I guess it depends who you are and what you're really looking for in a shoe. But for me personally, I find that when I'm moving around, if I'm running, if I'm having to make a quick turn, the fabric isn't strong enough for my foot to stay in place. It ends up sliding off the sole of the shoe, and it doesn't give me as much grip. I feel more agile in these shoes, and that's why I prefer them. However, because the material is different in the water shoes, you are able to have more flexibility. So you are able to move your feet more naturally compared to the Vivobarefoot shoes because they're more rigid. Specifically these ones. I can't really speak for the other ones because I don't own them. I find them to be a lot better because I'm able to move around more freely. I'm able to trust that my shoe is going to stay where it is on my foot and not have to worry if I'm going to be sliding off the sole or not. You can also take out the soles for more of a barefoot feeling, which is good if you are striving to go for more of the conscious walking approach and to be able to feel everything underneath your feet as you're walking. Now obviously, because the quality of the Vivobarefoot shoe is a lot better, we know that they are going to last a lot longer. There's no disputing that. As you can see, my old shoes, I've had them for a couple of years. I have worn them quite often and they have done a really good job for how much they were. I'm not going to lie. However, they have a hole in them where my big toe is. I feel more secure in the fact that these will last a lot longer. Another plus that I found, if I'm comparing my water shoes to these Vivobarefoot shoes, I'm able to sit on my knees more. I don't know if you can see, I can do this. It's because on the water shoes, there are no laces. You have to have this plastic adjuster to tighten the straps. So with these ones, they're literally just laces. And I find this to be more comfortable when needing to sit in certain positions like this. So when we're bringing it right down to basics, the main reason most people want to have barefoot shoes is to have that connective experience with their body and the environment, to move as freely as we possibly can and as naturally as we can. And obviously this has a ton of benefits. I'm not going to go into it because there are so many great videos out there on YouTube that I'll put in my description if you like to see. But there are so many great videos explaining why, and you should go and check it out. But it's really good for your posture and it's really good for strengthening your feet and being able to move naturally again. So if you have problems with like flat feet or bunions and stuff like that, you have the chance to correct it, which this is the main reason. And I guess if you really boil it down to that very thing, both water shoes and barefoot shoes, like Vivobarefoot shoes, do the same thing. It really just depends on your preference. If you don't want to splash out on so much money, or if you just want to try out barefoot shoes just to begin with, maybe water shoes would kind of be more beneficial for you. But if you know 100% you want something more rigid, more durable, something that you'll have for a longer time, then Vivobarefoot shoes is probably a better option. However, there are a lot of different barefoot shoe companies out there, so have a look around. They all tend to be quite pricey. That's kind of why I went for the water shoes to begin with. Yeah, I'll take a look around, see kind of what works for you. There are so many different options, but they do tend to be around 100, 150, 200 pounds. I don't know what that is in euros or dollars, sorry. Bearing that in mind, and the fact that these look quite normal. So they're more casual to wear. You can walk around with them and not like get stares, if you know what I mean. People are not going to be stopping you and asking you about your ugly ass shoes. They just look like normal trainers, and if you tend to have smaller feet, I find they look even more normal. However, obviously I have big feet, I'm quite tall and slender, so the wide toe box is quite exaggerated on me and looks more like duck feet. I don't think that's the case for everyone, I just think that's me personally. But given the cons of these shoes, the fact that they're so expensive and they look like fins, I'm quite happy with my purchase. I do think they're worth it, I really do. And I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I wish I was, but I'm not. It gives me the ability to kind of correct my bunions, which has been working really well. However, another downside is if you've started this barefoot journey and you started to heal your feet by strengthening them up and spreading your toes out naturally, you find that you can't really go back to wearing normal shoes, otherwise you undo all that progress. progress. And that's what I'm finding. I'm wearing these shoes and then I'll go to wear my boots and I can really feel my toes restricting back up again. So you need to invest in more of a going out casual shoe that is also barefoot if you want to maintain the progress. There are definitely more casual going out kind of barefoot shoes, that's for sure, on the internet, but again, they are quite expensive. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Please consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos. If you've tried these out and you've compared both the water shoes and the Vivobarefoot shoes, please let me know what your experience is in the comments and I'll be really happy to read that. So thank you again and ciao.